What up, everybody? Let's talk about it. This is a REALigion podcast with your host, Pastor Real-Time. Whatever you want to call me, I don't know. We're going to talk about some stuff. We're going to figure some stuff out, and who knows? We'll get into it right now on the REALigion podcast. Hey, welcome everybody. We're here at the REALigion podcast, and I've got a special guest today. You may have heard of him. He's super cool. He supports a mustache, so obviously that is the coolest thing. And we're going to get into the mustache talk.
The sole redeeming quality is the mustache.
I'm going to be honest with you. The only reason I had you here today was that stash. I mean, you could have...
I heard podcasts, and I'm like, it's just voice recordings. You can't even see that there's a mustache. Why do you want me on here?
No. I got to do video. So, I mean, and I've got a forward-facing camera on him so I can zoom into the stash at any point.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just change this whole format that I only interview people and talk to people with mustaches.
Welcome to the mustache
podcast. Yeah. Well, I'm excited that you're here. We'll get right into the thick of stuff. But I met you a few months ago. Actually, my daughter and yourself goes to the Bethel BSSM, and you were performing out there. But my daughter had actually seen you before and said, "Hey, you got to check this guy out." And I did, and I really liked it. What I heard, and then I met you, and I was like, "This guy's actually pretty cool too." Because sometimes that doesn't translate. Sometimes you meet people, and you're kind of like, "Oh, I was hoping for something different," and you're probably around a lot of people, and I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about there. But tell me a little bit about yourself. I mean, the little blurbs I have is that you're a singer, songwriter, musician, Christian, BSSMer, and what else? Who is Gable?
Oh man, you got all the big bullet points.
Yeah.
Man, my name's Gable. Hello. Nice to meet you. No, I'm 21 years old, grew up in the Midwest, and then moved to the West Coast. I wouldn't call it the West Coast because we're hours from the ocean, but moved to Redding when I was 19 years old in a camper. Me and my dad fixed up a camper.
Yeah, don't spoil it. I'm getting there.
I'm just going to give you all of the things right up front.
Yeah.
No, man, who am I? You said it. I'm out in California going to school. Yeah. Musician, Christian, songwriter. Probably a songwriter more than I'm a musician these days. But
okay.
Yeah. Right. Those are a lot of the big points. I'm a son, a brother. I'm not a dad.
Not a dad. Yeah. That's good. Yeah. How many siblings do you have?
I have two siblings. I've got an older brother who is 24.
Okay.
And a younger brother who's 18. So we've got the 3-year thing down.
So you were the forgotten son.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Of course. Dad's in the background. So yeah.
I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
No, I was the middle child. I wasn't the forgotten one, but I was definitely the one that had the least to prove and the most to tell on.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've never heard it explained that way, but that makes a whole lot of sense.
You've got an older brother to tattle on, a younger brother to tattle on, and you don't have to prove yourself as the middle one.
I like it. I just had myself was just me and my brother, and I was the older brother, so I only know that, but having siblings to me was just a huge part of my life growing up. Mm-hmm. I mean, just me and my brother are best friends. Growing up, even as I got older and we had you had 3 years apart. I still you still loved having him around and stuff. Yeah. Are you guys pretty close, you and your family?
Yeah, I think we're all really, really close. Obviously, with me moving across the country, communication looks different with each person. But I'd say I was just the other day, when I'm home, me and my little brother recorded for a couple
that's
sets.
Cool. So they are musicians as well?
Yeah. So my older brother, he's a really good drummer. He also is a rapper.
Oh, wow.
Which is different end of the musical spectrum than me, but I respect what he's doing. He respects what I do, and I think he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
And my younger brother, he's an amazing guitar player, music producer.
Yeah.
Does all the stuff I wish that I had the attention to detail to do.
That's good.
Yeah. So we all connect around music. We connect around. Me and my older brother connect more around sports. Me and my younger brother connect more around music. So it's a good.
That's awesome. Now, family? Does your dad and mom do music?
Yeah. So I always say my dad's the reason I lead worship, and my mom's the reason I can hear harmony.
Oh, okay.
'Cause my dad's got a great voice, but he can't hear a lick of harmony. Well, he can. There were times I remember some Sunday mornings he'd be like, "Gable, wake up early with me, and then helped me learn the harmony parts for, what was the song? Beautiful Things by Gunger.
Hey,
and we
good
spent
song.
20, 30 minutes of me showing him the harmony part. I don't even think I was doing the harmony right. Yeah. So my mom's got a great voice. My dad's a great musician, great worship leader. The reason I started leading worship, the reason I kept doing it. But
That's cool.
But yeah, musical family. It's really the only thing that's been a constant through all that.
That's
Sports
cool,
faded and music kept going.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that because did you go to Lawrenceburg High School?
No, I was actually homeschooled.
Oh, you're homeschooled.
We
got a homeschooler up in here. Oh no, is it gonna get weird? Are you gonna go whole homeschool? I mean, I don't know.
I go to a school called Supernatural.
Yeah, that's true. It might get,
I don't think homeschool is the thing that's going to make this weird.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. I tell people all the time, Jade will be like, what's your daughter do? I'm like, oh, she goes to the school Supernatural Ministry, and they're like, it just gets quiet, and I'm like, oh, it does sound weird.
Yeah. The first year when I was going out there, people would be like, where are you going to school? I'd be like, oh, Bethel School Supernatural Ministry.
Yeah.
Like just a little whisper right there.
Yeah.
Now I wear it as a badge of honor.
Exactly.
And the weird side of things where people are like, supernatural, what does that mean? I'm
right. Let's get into it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's talk. Yeah, and that's where Jade's at with it too. I mean, even coming from our background in ministry and stuff like that, we believe very similar to what Bethel believes, but there's a difference between belief and really living that out and seeing it involved in the church and in the community. So when she got out there was some things that she was like, whoa, and she called me, hey Dad, hey, this happened, is everything okay? But how has that been for you? I mean, what type of background, in church?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in church my whole life, so it wasn't, a lot of the things weren't too out of the ordinary. There were things that were definitely went a little further than I'd ever experienced them. I grew up in the Vineyard Church.
Okay, yeah.
Which the vineyards in Cincinnati are all great, but they're not necessarily like the John Wimber, full on signs and wonders,
right,
type thing. They're a great church. I'd say they're more of a non-denominational church, than anything, which is great. But I'd never heard of tongues before a youth conference when I was 14.
Right.
I might have heard of it, but I'd never actually heard it.
Yeah.
I never saw anyone like slain in the spirit or anything until I walked into registration day at BSSM. And
we talk about immediate, it is.
It was wild. I didn't want to say anything about it when I got back to the car. I went to my parents. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I walked down the steps and my pastor was there. Everyone was meeting their pastor. They were meeting their group. And I'm like, hi, I'm Gable. And she's like laying her hand on my head. And I'm like, hi, I'm Gable. And she just like, Gable, I'm like, no, hi.
Yeah,
Nice to meet you. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Nice to meet you. And there's just people just everywhere. Just,
yeah. It's an experience. I mean, when we checked in Jade, it was like, literally, if you're not comfortable in that environment, it can be a little overwhelming because you're expecting cookies and a handshake.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to be like, hey, here is the way to be a successful worship leader.
Yeah.
With a tall t-shirt and ripped jeans.
Yes.
This is how to heal the sick and raise the dead.
Right.
Like, okay, this is not what I expected, and it's great, and all of your expectations are just completely shattered. Yeah, it's good stuff.
I think that's the best way to say it, is like your expectations, because you do have. I think naturally you have an expectation going to a place like that of what something's going to happen. This is going to be this way, but it's for everyone, it's probably been completely different than what they expected. So, and I think that's a great thing for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that loss of expectation kind of leaves more room. I think it took probably 9 months of being there for me to really get rid of my expectation, and kind of more that I got rid of that expectation, the more I actually got what I really wanted coming in, which, I had the expectation of what I wanted. And as I got rid of it, it actually came to fruition. It was like a weird teeter-tottering balance. Like, you can't want it, and once you don't want it, you get it.
Yeah. No, that's 100% true. And I can say in my own life, that's been true throughout my life. The harder I seem to try to pursue something, and I'm not saying that you can't go after something, but the harder it seems like, I always tell people, life's a lot like water. You're holding water in your hand. The harder you try to grasp it, the more you lose of it, and just allowing yourself to really just be in it. And that's awesome. Now you mentioned sports. I was just going to go back to, you said you were homeschooled, but did you participate in sports? Do you like sports?
I love sports. Okay. Sports is, I'd say, the only thing I really gave myself to outside of music.
Okay.
I played or I swam on a swim team.
Okay. Hard sport.
Oh, hard sport. Yeah. When
right.
I was 8 to 12, I think I did that, and I dislocated my knee when I was 12 or something like that, and I was only good
Swimming.
No.
Oh, I was like, dude, you were kicking hard.
I was kicking hard. No, I cut over lanes.
Yeah.
And so the only stroke I was good at was the breaststroke, and that one is the one that really requires the most knees and like moving in the knees. So when that happened to me, I was like, this is the only one I actually enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, but no, I'm a huge basketball fan.
Okay.
I think
you play?
now, I played all through high school.
Okay.
I still was on the team my senior year, but I had a lot of concussions.
Oh no.
So I had to give it up halfway through my junior year.
Oh wow.
But I stuck around, went to like all the practices and the games and the tournaments. But man, basketball is probably one of my favorite things in the world. I love watching basketball. I'm, being from, state line of Indiana and into Ohio, there's not necessarily a close team. Pacers are 2 hours away.
Right,
The Cavs are 4 hours away.
Yep.
I kind of just became a fan of whatever. I played for an upward basketball
Oh
team.
yeah. Familiar.
And we were called this is when I was 8. I played for a non-church league team when I got older, but
you got to clarify that though. You didn't want everybody just.
I was like, everyone needs to know that I was actually a decent basketball player.
Not just upward until you're like 17. Like, oh yeah, I was dunking on 8-foot goals.
Yeah. I was really good in my church league.
Yeah.
No. And we were called the Heat.
Oh,
so that was
okay.
2006, actually, I think. But we were the Heat, so I became I looked up the Heat, and that was the year that Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade won the championship against the Mavericks. And so I began following them. And then when LeBron went to Miami, I became a LeBron fan. So I love LeBron.
Yeah.
And, shortcomings and all.
Sure. Absolutely. Me too.
I love the guy. I love he's a good dad. I was at an airport this summer, and I knew that there was a bunch of like high school basketball players there from like this big tournament that had happened in Vegas. And I was like, I bet LeBron James Jr. is here. So I had a long layover, and I spent the entire time
searching for him,
going terminal to terminal, looking for Bronny LeBron James Jr.
Did you find him?
I never found him. I never found him. But I found the slot machines 3 days before my 21st birthday, so I didn't get to use those.
So it was a strikeout both times.
Both times.
That's all right. That's all right. But I am too a LeBron fan.
You're a LeBron fan. Good.
And I like basketball. I'm a wrestler, so normally those don't go hand in hand. Usually, if you're a basketball player, you don't like wrestling, and vice versa.
Yeah.
But I just like the discipline in all the sports. I like the fact that, and plus, basketball's fun. Wrestling's the fun in the wrestling is just being miserable. Which sounds counterintuitive, but it literally, you have to like love to be miserable. And so it's not a game. You don't go to the park and wrestle typically unless you're a part of my redneck family. And then that's probably what you do. But most people go and play basketball, or they play catch, whatever. I loved basketball growing up, and I was, gifted at about, 5'6". So that's,
Oh yeah.
And I got cut from my, 7th grade basketball team and found wrestling because of that, So, but I have a respect for all sports. So
the pent up aggression from getting cut
so
from the
that's
7th
why
grade
I ended up trying to beat people up because it was the little man syndrome. That's what that's what happened with me. But
I am driven by the fact that I didn't make the 7th grade basketball team. That's what drives me.
Yeah, whenever if I make the millions, like what did it? I'll tell you what did it. Yeah, I don't want healing from that. I just want to continue to use that for yeah. Okay, so a more serious question: why the mustache?
Why the mustache?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? I don't know.
Where'd it come from?
I grew it, man, in 2017, late 2017.
Say, how old were you?
I was in 27. I had to be about 12 years old. I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
I was 19.
So you could grow a full stash at 19.
It took a long time.
It's a good minute. Yeah.
I started at beginning of October, and I was like, okay, this is my no shave November mustache, but for it to look respectable,
you started
I have
early.
To start a month early.
Makes sense.
And so I grew it out. What was the inspiration for it? I really don't know what inspired it. I had some friends who had a mustache.
Yeah.
I was in a band before I moved to Cincinnati.
Okay.
Before I moved to California with a guy who had a great mustache. And so I definitely was inspired by that. But
nice.
I have no idea what actually caused it.
I like it, and you know what? I've obviously did what most people do, and Instagram or stalk people, and I've seen you pre-mustache. I think the stash works.
I think the stash works, and I think pre-mustache didn't.
You didn't like the face prior to. Yeah, I get it. Dad's sporting a sweet beard. So has that always been a beard? You've always had a beard? Okay, all right.
He's turned into quite the silver fox these days.
Yeah. No, that's good. I saw him walk in. I was like, man, looks good.
I was going on the road with a band this summer, and my dad dropped me off, and he talked to the singer of the band for a while, and then I'm out in the van, and the singer of the band comes out, and he goes, Gable, your dad just is not ugly.
It's a true statement.
True. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, absolutely. He's getting embarrassed back there. He's going to pull his hat over. Say, Dad, you're in the line of fire here. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. But you got good facial hair genes.
I've got good facial hair genes. You're right.
Good. Yeah. Not everybody's blessed with that. It's a good thing.
I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you thank him on Father's Day for that.
I will thank him on Father's Day for that.
Yeah, just that. Yeah. So, and on to the next question. I just have a bunch of questions because I want to get to know you and things like that. But when did you fall in love with Jesus, right? I know that's a vague question, but, just a little my background. I went to church my whole entire life, but I didn't really understand what it meant to be in relationship until I was a bit older. Some people find that at 8 years old, and I didn't find it until, I was probably 21. So I just wanted people to kind of know your testimony, kind of when that happened for you. Or if you don't know, then that's fine too.
No, it's a great question. I think it's a really big question, and I think it's one that I would love to have a really direct answer for. I don't think I do.
Yeah.
I think because I'm in a similar boat. I grew up in church. My dad was a worship pastor. All I remember is all I've ever known is church.
Yeah.
All I've known is, Jesus loves you.
Yep.
Stuff like that. I'd say it's more, for me, it's been there, and there's still, even because growing up in church, you have that definitive moment when you're 21. I think I have a bunch of little moments that are still happening. I think, I remember when I was 12, I went to a youth conference, and I got healed of just something that was going on, like a physical thing that was going on. And I think that was a moment where I was like, okay, God's real.
Yeah.
And I always, I don't think I've ever, everyone's had their doubts, but I don't think I ever actually doubted if God wasn't real, and maybe I was too afraid to for a while.
Yeah.
But no, so 12 years old, that happens, 14, blah, 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 XYZ keeps happening. I think that I haven't had a definitive moment, but I think each day, there are a little bit more of those moments every few weeks. I think there's a checkpoint in a way, or even I think that, every growing older, especially when you get to the age where I'm at, which is pretty young, but I'm at that age where it's high school's over. The last thing I had on my plans was to go to my first year of BSSM.
Yeah.
And it just keeps, I keep staying out here and doing more years of it. So it's more of a matter of what does it look like for me to have that falling in love with Jesus moment when I have no idea what's next. Because I really don't. And it's a journey, and it's loving him in different things. But I wish I had an answer to when it was. I don't know when it was. I think it's a little bit each month.
Sure. No, I think it's perfectly reasonable to say, because honestly, you equate love with the Lord in the same sense as my wife and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I hope that I didn't fall in love with my wife at 19 and stop at that point. I hope it wasn't. I plan to love her more and more every moment of every day, and until I leave this planet. And I think that that's probably more the way we're supposed to pursue the Father. So I like that answer. And it is harder for people that grow up in church to say, this was it.
Yeah, and now there are always those moments where I think back to the story of Billy Graham. He, huge, just giant in the faith of all the stuff he did, wild stuff. But he had a moment, when he was, I don't remember how old he was, but he started to have these doubts of God. And what he did was he went out into the woods, and he placed his Bible on a tree stump, and he basically was just like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
God, this does not make sense, but I trust that this is your word, and I'm promising my life to this book. I'm not going to put it down.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's not a specific moment, but I feel like I feel like, at the end of the summer this year, just a pretty hard, like, mental summer for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a putting the Bible on the tree stump moment of just like, this doesn't really make sense, but I'm going to choose it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're married, it's love isn't love until it requires a choice.
Absolutely,
and
man.
it's
That's good.
you keep choosing it. It's not the one thing.
Yeah.
I wish it was a contract to sign that I'm just
Me
completely
too.
mentally into it and that the feelings always follow. But
Yeah.
I mean, the feelings don't. And
That's good.
you're faced with that. Are you going to set it down on the tree stump? Are you going to swear to the book, even if you don't like where the people in the book are going?
Yeah. No, dude, that's so good. I mean, and I think that that's the maturing of faith that, that we're seeking. Even, again, I'm a pastor, and I think anybody that's in leadership or ministry, if they tell you that they don't have those moments, I'd be leery of that person, because honesty is we all have those moments, and I think it is, like, at that point, it's just a decision. You say, this, I am going to follow this, regardless of my thoughts right now, regardless of my feelings right now, or whatever's my surroundings, I'm going to stay true to this, because I have to relent to the fact that I don't understand everything, but I'm going to choose this even when I can't see it. And so I think that's a beautiful answer, and I think our listeners are that's going to resonate, because I think everybody at some point is in that place, and probably more so than we like to admit. So good stuff. Go switching gears a bit. When did you get started in music? And you kind of hit on this a little bit. And when did you find out that you could actually sing? Like, when was that moment?
Oh man, so I definitely couldn't always sing. That's for sure.
Oh, really?
My mom tells stories about when we'd sing Happy Birthday and I would sing one note the whole time. Happy birthday to you.
Nice.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Now the big part. Happy birthday, dear
I like it.
Anton.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. Happy birthday. I always liked music. Loved it.
Yeah.
I got a letter from my dad on my 13th birthday that was accompanied by a Gibson Les Paul, and it said, Gable, you're a worship leader. Because I told him one day, he said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I told him I want to be a worship leader. Oh, wow. And he gave me a note of that, and I still have the note, and it just said, this is who you are, I want you to be my apprentice.
Wow.
And so I would go to work with him on Thursdays, and a lot of days it looked like me sorting the file cabinet.
Yeah.
And which, because back then, I mean, even now, I think one of the biggest wastes thing is chord charts at church services. I look back in the backstage areas of any place, and there's a stack, that high of chord sheets, but we would save them, and I'd put them back in there, so then on the weekends that everyone's playing, Dad knew about saving the earth before it was before it's stuff like that. I mean, obviously it was still there, but no. So I'd go and do that with him on Thursdays, and then I started doing youth worship at my church, which a lot of times looked like six students. Oh, okay. Sometimes it was like 20, and that was great. For whatever reason, I had a microphone still, like in front of 6 people. It was great, and it definitely got to my head, like it would happen to any 13-year-old. And then I led a weekend with him in the main service at our church, which was a vineyard on the west side of Cincinnati. It was great, and it was So around then is when I feel like I really started giving myself to singing as well, because I played guitar. All growing up, we had a band, me and my dad and my brothers, called Chipotle and the Chicken Strips. Nice. And we have a video on YouTube for all the listeners who want to check it out.
Say the name again?
Chipotle and the Chicken Strips.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's
it's a video
brilliant.
of us playing Tell the World by Hillsong.
Oh, nice.
You remember that song?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
We had, I don't remember what the exact time in the video was, but it's after the first chorus. It goes back into an intro, and we go, jump. Like, we just do like this little bunny hop, little 9-year-old Gable's up there.
Dad's getting embarrassed again.
They're going to see my dad had dreadlocks at this time. Yeah.
You had dreadlocks?
He had dreadlocks.
He is cool.
They were like diet dreads.
That's awesome.
Like diet dreads, because we're out at this festival at our friend's farm out in Indiana, and all these guys have dreadlocks like down to their hips.
Yeah.
And dads look like Cheetos just sticking up.
That's awesome.
It was great. It was great.
So good.
I only say that because he makes those jokes about him too. It was a good time, and it was an experiment.
That's awesome. I love it. I love the whole thing. So I found a little clip of you singing, and I remember this. If we can hear this here.
Oh my gosh. fingertips, the outline of your shape. That was Chris Allen.
And that was in
American
2013.
2013. Yeah, that was the first video on my new Instagram account.
Yeah.
Because I made an old account that I would use an app to get fake likes with.
Oh, nice.
So I would get fake likes with that one. And my only way to get out of that cycle was to just make a new account and pretend like my old one got hacked.
Oh my
so
gosh.
in 2013, I was still a little bit of a pathological liar. So
Still working on that.
Still working on it a little bit. None of this is true, actually. None of my life is. I don't have a band. I don't actually live in California.
Wow.
And I'm just kidding.
You should make a living at this.
Yeah.
You're good at it. Yeah. I found that, but in 2013, you had a pretty awesome voice.
Oh, thanks.
I mean, that, you know, I come across that and I'm hoping to get some dirt on the dude and not, you know, where he's all over the place. And I'm like, oh,
I deleted that Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That one's in part of the old one. Yeah. That's the one that got hacked.
I went through the phase of, singing really, really soft because of that. And then I went through the phase of singing really, really like, flexing your stomach as hard as you can. The example I use is Tom DeLonge in Blink-182.
Oh, yeah.
Where are you?
Yes.
That kind of thing. So I went through that phase, and hopefully it's a happy medium now where I just yell the whole time.
Yeah.
But that was the soft, the baby voice, the Justin Bieber phase.
It sounded really good though, and that's what kind of actually come back to the Blink-182 thing. What are your influences musically?
Yeah. So I mean, I've had a few that have gone throughout the years.
Yeah.
Like I said, my dad, of course, like worship leading, like without a doubt wouldn't have been doing it without him and also wouldn't have kept doing it. But I'd say bands, I was a huge Relient K fan.
Okay.
I think that it's, I like to think that it's kind of evident in the way that I phrase things and just, I love Matt Thiessen's cleverness with words and the way he would put things together and, loved Switchfoot. Yeah. Those are the classic two grew up in church Christian kid answers. Now, probably the biggest musical influence that I ever saw for like live shows and just in general was a Cincinnati-based band called the Pomegranates. Okay. And the Pomegranates, I saw them at that same festival that I played at with Chipotle and the Chicken Strips. Yep. We played at the open mic. They were the headliner. And they were just great, man. They were awesome. They'd finish a song and they'd pass their instruments to the other, like to the next person. They would switch instruments.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Playing electric guitar, then he'd be playing bass, then he'd be playing.
That's cool.
And man, they were just so good. I loved the way they wrote. Yeah. Like their melodies were always great. They always threw in like gang vocals, which is why I just love gang vocals. Yeah. No, it's so
If
I had it my way, I probably wouldn't have sang that much on the album. It would have just been gang vocals the whole time.
I mean, I like gang vocals, but I do like your voice. And going back to that, the reason why I ask about the influence is because I don't think you sound like anyone. Yeah. And I mean that as a compliment. I don't listen to you and go, oh, he's doing this, and one thing I told my daughter whenever I actually first heard you, I said, that is the future. That is, he's doing something that's needed because in a lot of ways, in all genres, not just Christian music, but in all genres of music, people reproduce one another. And it just, and they kind of stair-step that. And when I listened to you, I was trying to make comparisons. I was trying to, you got the John Mark McMillan and things of that, which I would say he's out of the box as well, but you guys are in separate versions of that. So I was wondering kind of what your influences are. I do understand what you're saying about phrasing.
Thanks for saying that, man. Thanks for saying that. Yeah, and my influences have grown through the years. They've changed. John Mark is a huge current influence for me. Yeah. Colony House is a huge band-wise. I'd say my biggest influence right now is actually one of my friends. His name's Mike Maines. Okay. And he's the only person I've known that's really doing the music thing. Like, making a living, finding ways to do it without just blowing up. Because there are those people who just blow up, right? And are doing it. And he's done really well, and he's got a great fan base. But he's like one of those people who have really done the grind, and it's really inspiring to me and stuff like that. Yeah. So like those are current. But thanks for saying that about like. Not sounding like anyone. And that's a good thing, I guess.
I'm a fan of music. I'm not a musician. I don't sing or anything like that. But I have been around a lot of it because when being in youth ministry and stuff like that for years, I ran like a venue for kids. So I just opened up we had a space where we did youth ministry, but then I allowed kids to come in that had different bands from all over. That's awesome. So just allowing them to do that. But I kind of study music. So again, whenever I heard that, I just wanted to let you know that it wasn't like I heard it, liked it because it felt like it was supposed to be worship music. It just seems authentic, and I like that. So,
Thanks, man. That's really great to hear.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, now I got your head all inflated, all that stuff. What is cool, tight, sick?
Cool, tight, sick.
Yeah, what is that?
Wait, where does that?
You said it about 40 times at the end of your show.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that because I just said that like 10 times the other day at a rehearsal I had at a church in Cincinnati. I don't know
where it came from.
I know that it's like one of those buying time things to say that's also kind of like funny. It makes people like, oh,
I like it.
Cool, tight, sick.
Yeah.
Just a lot of that. I don't know where it came from. Just kind of started saying it, and now it's kind of my awkward gag reflex,
Yeah.
Where it's just like things hit the fan and then that's cool, tight, sick.
Yeah. No, I love it. I thought I was like, that has to be a shirt now. Like, I don't like it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Because when I was watching you and this show was behind theory.
Yeah.
And there was some
at the black box.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was some things because you came on, actually, I don't even think you were supposed to play that show. No. I think it was last minute type thing.
Yeah.
For you.
It was a couple hours beforehand.
Yeah. And so you and a lady that was accompanying you. And so you had there were some technical difficulties and things like that. And that was the cool, sick, tight.
Cool, sick, tight.
Yeah. And I thought, I like that. And everybody else liked it too, because every time you said it, people laughed, and I could hear other people start saying it themselves. My brother was there with me, and he turned to me and he's like, "That's hilarious." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." So you got something there.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it. It's trademarked. It's mine now.
I wondered if it was a thing that you thought, like it happened at rehearsal one day. You said it, and now the band, but no, it's just
that was because that was a brutally awkward show. It was fun and it turned out great, but got asked 2 hours beforehand.
Yeah.
It was the songs I don't normally play.
Right.
I have my Gable Price and Friends band songs, and I call these ones my sad boy songs.
They're
not always sad. They're just more self-deprecating than anything.
Sure.
But so I asked my friend Sarah Sperber to come sing, and we go sing it, and then I had my new guitar that I got this summer, and I was playing it, and I still haven't replaced the battery, but that's what happened. Is the battery went out, and I didn't learn because that weekend I did like a small service before one of the services at church.
Yep.
And I used the guitar and the battery's out, and they're like, "Gable, why does your guitar sound like it's exploding?" And then I did it again. I'm just not learning. But no, so my battery kept going out, and they're like, switch guitars. I'm just waiting for my friend Johnny, who was headlining the night, to run up to the top floor of Theory, grab his guitar, and come down. And I'm just
standing there.
So what's up, guys?
Yes.
You guys like bread? Like stuff like that.
Exactly.
Just horrible small talk.
No,
and it was cool, sick, tight.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. And you said the battery's still out at this point?
It is still out.
Wow, that's been a minute, dude.
Yeah.
That was October 12th or something like that.
That was October.
Yeah, because I'll tell you, because I left my daughter's birthday to come listen to you.
That's the best thing I've heard. I heard about that when Jade told me that. She said, and I was like, "You're kidding me. Did you really?" That's amazing. That's one of the funniest things I've heard.
And to her credit, and to make me look better, she encouraged it. I made sure that it was okay. And she was like, "No, Dad, you don't get to hear him. Please go." And so I went, and then I heard cool, sick, tight. And I was like, I like that. So
don't remember the songs. You remember the catchphrase.
Yeah. But the songs were really good, but it was that catchphrase. So
there we go.
Just saying, you got something there. So stay with it.
I will.
Give me a little bit about the new album. What's going on with that?
Yeah. So Gable Price and Friends, the band, we've been working on an album since. Oh my gosh. We were going to do, when we released our Signal Mega, dude. That's
the new one.
Signal Mega. It sounds like a fraternity.
It is. If you want to be
Mega.
Exactly. Make sure it's cool, sick, tight, Signal Mega.
Yeah.
Dude,
there we go.
There we got it.
A band and a frat. No, we released our single, Magnetic Love, in April.
Yep.
And our plan was to release an EP directly after that because we'd done the Reading EP in November, and then in April we had started and released Magnetic Love, and then we were going to go into the studio and record a song called Evergreen.
Yep.
Which is a great song. It's a lot more unlike the congregational, like church side than of like any of the new music we've written. And so we wrote that. We were getting ready to go in the studio for it, and then the coffee shop in town, Coffee Bar in Reading, decides that they're going to change their name to Evergreen. And so we're like, well, we can't release a song called Evergreen now because everyone's going to think they're so funny, and they're going to be playing the song on their Instagram story with the Evergreen, which is good publicity, but it's also like, we were like, okay, let's put that song on pause and get a different one that we really want to run into the studio with. And at that point, we kind of started talking about, we had introduced Dave Funk. He played keys with us at our show, and we kind of were like introducing him into the actual band. So he's an actual member, and he's like, guys, why don't we just do, I don't know if it was him or it was someone else, like, let's just do a full length album.
Yeah.
And we're like, that's so much to prep for, because it's not like an EP, which EPs are still a lot of work.
Yeah.
Where you can do 4 solid songs. It's like, you got to have 10 songs, and to have a 10-song album, you got to have 20 songs.
Oh yeah.
And you got to narrow it down. One of my favorite stories is when Switchfoot went into the studio for their second album, I think they had 100 and something demos of different songs. And when
I can't imagine.
And when they get in the studio, they narrow it down to a 12-song album.
Yeah, and how? Because I'm sure, and I'm one of my questions is how you write, but I'm thinking just anything that you put time and effort into, there's got to be some part of you that is connected to it. How do you go, yep, it's not going to make it, and you're like, ugh, does that happen?
Oh, yeah, all the time. There are things that are they're your baby.
Yeah.
So with the album, it's been a little bit of a cool journey of learning, keeping yourself on a time crunch for writing, which I've done better in certain weeks than I have in others, but it's been great. So we have almost all the songs written and begun to be pre-produced, and our goal is we want to have something out, summertime.
Yeah.
Have a big party in Reading to release it, and I'd love to at least be able to throw that party before the end of the school year, just because it's the last year of BSSM, and for me at least, and all of those people who are in the school with me half of them are internationals.
Yeah, that's true.
They legally have to go home.
Yeah.
So it would be it's our last hurrah together. Yeah. So we're really working hard on that. As soon as I get back, we're gonna kind of hit it with a little more intensity and hopefully be able to get an album out soon.
Yeah. Now is Magnetic Love on that album?
It's in talks right now. So my thoughts is, our style, it's similar enough.
Yeah.
But we're planning on mixing it and having the album overall sound probably a little different.
Okay.
Our first album was a very clean mixed album.
Yeah.
Magnetic Love was a very produced song.
Right.
And we're looking to kind of go into a little bit more of a little less clean while still being, intentionally a little more rock and roll.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about including Magnetic Love. So that's I would love to, because in my thoughts, if you released an EP and then an album and a single in between, or a single,
dude, it's there. It's there.
A single in between, it dies.
Yeah.
It's not one of those things that's a repetitive listen. So I really don't want that song to die, because I love that song. And so I want to throw it on there, figure out a way to fit it in there, even if it's just an alternate version of it. Yeah. Or even just a re-release version of that mixed similar to the rest of the album. So we'll see. I don't see a problem with if it wasn't, we'd find a way to keep it alive.
Sure.
Just because. But it's a cool song. It's a cool album. We don't necessarily know the name of the album or all the song names. We just know that it's going to be a really cool. It's going to be it's different from anything.
It is different than you say.
It's a lot different from anything we've released before. Okay. Where what I realized after the Reading EP was my best shot at releasing a church album.
I gotcha.
And even at my most churched form, it's still a little too weird in a way,
Yeah, but in my opinion, it's beautifully weird. And again, I know you're not saying anything contrary to this, but I wish, in my opinion, I would walk into a church and hear Dead Man.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because to me it is worship. It's so true. And I've got a couple of these songs queued up here. I want to play, if you don't mind, I'll play a couple snippets of them. And I'm gonna hit Magnetic Love real quick, and then you can tell me a little bit about that, and I'll hit Dead Man a piece of it, and you can tell me a little bit about that as well. All right, let's just have a little listen real quick. And you can still talk if you want.
You draw me close, like a fly to a light post. I'm
honestly, to me, this is worship.
Like water to a napkin. I can't
It's a fun song because this is right when we invite our buddy Dave into the band. And these songs would have been very empty without the amazing stuff he was doing on keys.
The keys are, I love them.
It's
haunting.
haunting.
Yeah. And lyrically, I mean, it's true, and it pulls you into. To me, it pulls me into worship. You're telling me here everything about me. You have my attention. That's just. Again, I'm telling you about your own song, but for me as a listener, it's what it does. I'll fade this one out, but so good. I mean, again, you guys sound incredible, but I think the thing for me is just the authenticity behind everything. It's lyrically authentic, it's musically authentic, and it just feels good. And I mean, obviously, when you wrote that song, can you give me a little bit of insight to it?
Yeah. So those were originally two different songs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was gonna write a song called "Body, Spirit, Mind, and Soul," which was gonna be just that lyric the entire song.
Okay.
Body, Spirit, Mind, and Soul. Body, Spirit, Mind, and Soul. You have my attention.
Yeah.
And it was basically the band that was gonna be telling the story.
Okay.
And we might still do something like that.
Yeah.
At some point, but and then the chorus of a different song was going to be "You pull me in like water to a napkin.
Yeah.
I can't resist your magnetic love."
So good. See, he's so good. I can't. If I did that, people would cry in a wrong way. It's just but that's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they were going to be different songs, and I decided to put the two together.
That's
but
so
when writing "Magnetic Love," it was actually like this. It was probably on one of the better days I'd had out in Reading in a long time.
Yeah.
And it was just like a lot of the dreams I'd had were coming into fruition, like in this specific day. I can't remember what was happening.
Yeah.
I think it was just some really, really cool opportunity I was given.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to clean my car. So I'm cleaning my car, and I had spilled some coffee into the cup holder, and I drop a napkin in there, and the water the coffee just like fills up the napkin.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just had chills, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's what I feel like's happening right now.
Oh, it's so good.
It's just like it feels like I am that water just being pulled into whatever he has for me, and it wasn't my plan, and it was exactly what I wanted, and it happened.
Yeah.
So with that, I mean, that was great. I'm also very glad I have the boys in the band, because I was gonna have the lyric be like a moth to a lampstand or something like that. And they were like,
no, that don't.
And they were like, well, those moth memes, right? With the moths. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a fly to a lamppost now.
Yeah. Honestly, the lyrics they're non-traditional, and like that part of it is really interesting to me, because when I heard that and I heard the water to the napkin, I know exactly what you're talking about. But I, as someone that thinks about lyrics, I'm like, I wonder where that came from. That he would write that for a song like this, but it made complete sense to the context you're using it in. So, and I love that. I mean, it just, again, if I hear another worship song with fire and whatever, all the buzzwords for Christian songs, I'm like, okay, I already know where this is going, but with yours, it's like, I have to listen to the lyrics, and then I also have to interpret them for myself. And that again, when we get to the next question, is what is worship to you? Because to me, that is part of the process. Is allowing myself to be pulled into God and to be involved in what's already going on for eternity. And I can't do that on autopilot. And I feel like a lot of times music is an autopilot for people. They just, a lot of times, my kids will listen to music, like, what do you listen to? Like, oh, I don't even know what it says. I'm like, yeah, but you probably should. For me, that's part of it. I don't want to be an autopilot in worship. I don't want to say the same words over and over that mean, nothing, or mean something to someone else wrote. So from your music, to me, again, I say it's worship, because again, I have to interpret, I have to be pulled into it. Yeah. And so, not to rob an answer.
No, of course. Yeah. So, I mean, I like I said, before, it's broad, and I don't think I can give one answer
Right.
to it. So what is worship to me? I mean, it's pretty much everything, all encompassing,
Yeah.
of like all the things I do, I hope are in some way worshiping the Lord.
Yeah.
Whether it's, waking up on time in the morning and making my bed.
Yes.
But I think that with our band, I think that this is the first bit of music that I've made, for myself.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm doing it for the band and the Lord and for people. But I feel like this is the first time I've been like, okay, I'm going to make the music I want to make.
So good.
And because I've been in bands and I've loved the music they've made, but it was never my child.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a old quote from a saint. His name's Saint Irenaeus, I think is his name. And it's the glory of God is man fully alive.
Yes.
And I feel like that's been my thought process behind Gable Price and Friends.
Yep.
Is this is the stuff that makes me feel alive.
Yep.
I feel like even if these weren't songs that were gonna say you're pulling me in like water to a napkin, even if it wasn't the gospel story of if I reap what I sow, I'd literally be toast.
Yeah.
It'd still be worship because we're fully alive.
Yep.
So for me, what worship is through Gable Price and Friends is making the music that makes us feel alive and makes other people feel alive. But in my everyday life, my worship looks different most days.
Yep.
I mean, there is of course, the aspect of, surrendering all to the Lord. And there's the worship set of things where it's like actually like beholding the Lord, you're worthy, all these things. And then there's the other scriptural side of all these other ways that people worship the Lord. So I don't think that I have one specific way. There's like the Davidic side of things.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like my worship lately has been just existing with God,
Yeah, it's so good.
Whether that's, there's like this really, really cool thing in the church and in pop culture right now. And it's to just take a crap on the church.
Yeah, it is. There is a big time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I understand it's a thing, place with flaws. And I understand that. And it's people because they're humans. And I feel like it's easy for me and for other people just become really cynical and really,
it is.
And I feel like my biggest form of worship in this last year has been, like we talked about before, putting the book down on the stump.
Yeah.
My biggest form of worship is being like, I'm not going to be a cynic towards you, God. Like,
that's good.
I'm not going to be the one that would crucify you if you came back to earth.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be me.
Yeah.
And in most days, like in the past, like that could be me because of like my thinking and stuff like that, of like this pop culture, this urge to mock and to be really cynical of all things revolving around the people that hurt us, not the person who the people are there to exist from,
Yeah.
So worship to me has been not putting down the book.
Yeah.
Worship to me has been, being honest with God without doubting who he is. I think that, some days that alabaster jar is a surrendering and spending 7 hours with him. And some days it's just actually existing with him and saying, God, I'm kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
You know?
That honesty is so important.
So like that's, lately it's just my resisting being cynical to the things of God, my resistance to being bitter.
Yeah.
Me choosing to hold on to hope in the things that I know are real in a body of believers that is there for good.
Yeah.
It's my worship is just being hope in a place that feels like the place that was made for hope, the church. When it's under fire and people I grew up with are holding a torch to it, I'm going to be the one that's saying like, no, I believe in it because it's there's good in there.
Yeah.
So that's been what worship's been to me lately. It hasn't been a worship set.
Yeah, it's so good.
Hasn't been a worship set. It's been putting the book on the stump and saying I'm not getting away from this thing.
Yeah. No, I love that, man. Matter of fact, I've obviously teach a lot about worship and I think it because throw it down, dude. Just throw it. Do what you want.
There's an napkin down there. Water.
It's yeah, exactly. But one thing that I have talked to a lot of people about is exactly that. Whenever you put a song or you call that worship, I think it kind of boxes worship in way too much. But to your point, you look at nature. Nature only is what it was created to be, and that's the highest form of worship. And for me, that's it too. It's saying when I'm at my best, and the way the Lord created me, and trying to pursue who He called me to be, that is worship. And like you said, creating music the way you create it and it makes you feel good, that's worship. So,
oh man, I've got a funny story. I might get in trouble for telling this story, but
is it about Dad?
No, it's not about Dad. I was on a basketball team in high school, and we're a Christian team, and we had this kid pray after one of our games, and he said, "God, I'm so sorry we didn't glorify you by winning, or we didn't worship you by winning." And my coach goes, so our next practice, he calls us up into the circle. He's like, "I've been mad the entire weekend." We're like, "Why?" He's like, he's a great dude, great heart, and he's just brutal sometimes. And he's just like, "When you do what you're made to do, it's worshiping God." He's like, "When you're married someday and you have sex with your wife, you're worshiping God and you're glorifying God." And that kid's over in the corner just like,
yeah. But to his point, I agree.
It cracked me up because I'm just that's where I'm at. I'm like, it's just the everyday living.
Yeah. I think that's the best approach. And that story is exactly what I'm talking about. I believe the way a coach believes. Yeah. I really do. I believe it's being who I was created to be. The alligators don't negotiate worship. They just are. Yeah. And I think that the more we can get like that, the better. And again, switching gears real quick. Yeah. Do you use the band just to get girls?
If that was the point of it, it would be failing very poorly.
Well, I had to ask because usually you gotta ask. Yeah. Are you a single man?
I'm a single man.
Okay,
yes.
It's all right. Well, ladies, he's not using the band, but he is single. Next big question here,
and we can go back to that, ladies. If you are listening to this, Daniel Vargas, our drummer, a very good-looking man. Is he
in the looking department for?
Oh, He's a Reading 9 for sure.
Oh, Reading 9.
A Reading 9. I'm not talking Enneagram ladies. Yeah. No, he's a good looking dude. He's got a good heart, good drums, quite the looker,
Wow.
But his phone number, I'm just kidding.
It's not. We'll see if they can find him. It'd be easy.
The Daniel Vargas.
There you go. Hit him up. That'd be awesome.
We call him Squeaky ladies. What up?
Squeaky. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so another big question here. Chick-fil-A or Popeye's chicken?
Chick-fil-A, 100%. I love Popeyes.
Yeah.
I love their chicken sandwich. It's a trick question. KFC's Nashville spicy chicken sandwich.
Really?
I've had it once, so I can't talk about its consistency.
Okay.
But I had it the other day. We only have one KFC in Reading. It just opened up.
Okay.
In Reading, of all places. I thought Kentucky and California were still feuding.
Yeah. But, so you figured it out. Yeah. The Colonel took care of it.
Yeah, the Colonel chilled.
Good. Yeah.
No, so I had it and it was so good. But yeah, no, I like Popeye's sandwich. The pickles are really good on it.
Yeah, and they're big too. They're like this. They're like this big.
The bread's big. The chicken's not that big.
I don't know where mine. I can't. My wife brought me one home the other day, and it looked like a tenderloin. And only people in Indiana know what that tenderloin looks like. And that's what I was like.
I see a wide piece of chicken like that. I'm like, what part of the chicken did that come from?
You don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
I'm like, there's no part of a chicken that's as big as a pancake.
No, there's not. It's probably not real chicken, but but it tasted amazing.
But game recognizes game.
That's true. Absolutely. So I'm on the fence. I can't really give you an answer.
Yeah,
which one.
So you don't have an answer on that?
No, I like them all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm the same. I'm wearing both jerseys.
Yeah.
I'm wearing both jerseys, but if they played in the playoffs.
Yeah. Who you going Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
I would probably go. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah. No, dude. Like, I'm a sweet tea guy. So the rivalry, I think Popeye sweet tea's better. And I know that's sinful to even say.
No, so you go to the drive-thru of Chick-fil-A. They're like, "Hi, it's 72 degrees. We're eternally blessed. How are you today?"
You cannot get better service.
I go to Popeyes and they're like, "Hi, you are inconveniencing me. How may I serve you?"
Very good point. So based on that, yeah, Chick-fil-A.
I get to the window. They cut my credit card in half and give me a wedgie. And they're like, "That's payment." They give you the sandwich.
You know what? I think you just swayed me.
At Chick-fil-A, they kiss my ring.
Yes.
They call me a sweet child.
They do.
And then we listen to I Can Only Imagine instrumental version for 9 minutes straight.
You're not wrong. And their yogurt parfaits are insanely good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, I'm back on the fence. I'm a game day
We're
decision.
talking about yogurt parfaits now. This is straight a long way.
Dude,
like,
yeah.
what is Davidic worship to you? Oh man, yogurt parfaits.
See, I like to keep it real. You know, I'm on both sides of it here. You know,
yeah,
so.
I know. You got to get your freak on sometimes.
Absolutely, absolutely. The reason why I asked you about the food is because I found something else, and I want to take a listen to it real quick. Check this out.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly what this
is. Do you know what this is, real quick?
I know what that is.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Grillin' with Guys.
That is my Halloween costume of 2017.
And you're a Guy Fieri?
I'm Guy Fieri.
Yes. And it's one of the greatest videos, and I want to try to put these links up to these videos.
Oh, yeah.
But listen.
Boom! That's dynamite!
Yes.
That's the band playing in the background.
Really?
No.
Okay, it's like, dang, that's pretty good. So, just for the listeners.
Like, no, that's actually good.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah. Punch me in the... I love it.
Yeah, that's actually the name of our album.
Really?
The Gable Price and Friends album coming out. It's like
Punch Me in the
Punch Me in the Beanbag and Call Me Daddy by Gable Price and Friends.
I love it. Good luck getting in church with that one.
Oh, yeah.
No, so that cracked me up. That was a video of Gable, in the costume, and he is doing a chili review, and it's hilarious. So I had to ask him about food because I figured he was a food critic.
It's a segue question.
Absolutely. And then the lady question I asked you about, there's definitely one that I was curious about with this one real quick. You can tell me about this.
If I called you a doorball, would you give me your numbers? Hit it, Kids Bop.
Baby, now.
Yeah.
Take me into your loving arms.
I forgot the video existed. I didn't forget the other ones, but that was a while back.
Yeah, Gable has one on there where he's flirting with the ladies with Kids Bop.
With the ladies.
So
that
yes.
is just. You see, if I did that and I have a mustache, and I live in a van, I say something about Kids Bop, they're
can't.
like, FBI, we've got
You cannot.
You know?
Yeah, you definitely. There's going to be some knocks on the doors. Yeah.
On the van.
Yeah. So I had to ask about those things.
No, that's good. That's good. Powerful.
Yeah. So real quick, van living. You touched on it. So what's van living to you? You got there, a few years ago. You enjoying it? What's?
Yeah, it's been great. It's got a lot more ups and downs than you'd expect from living in a 100 square foot space. I don't know. No, it's been great. We bought the van kind of close to here in Muncie.
Okay.
Back in 2016, I think, late 2016, me and my pops fixed it up. We did a ton of work to it. Interior, gutted it, souped it up to be a camper van. He did a lot of the engine work. I'm not super mechanically inclined. I can do oil changes and put gasoline in the car.
That's great. No, that's great for your generation. I'm not trying to bag on your generation, but people knowing how to change oil, that's not something people, just pay it and let it go. Yeah. So that's good.
There you go. But then we drove it across the country. We made it to Indianapolis before our first breakdown, which is 2 hours.
Yes, not so good, man.
No, and it was crazy. We were spraying like black smoke, and that looks like a head gasket. And we stop, and the coolant is bubbling up and overflowing.
Oh, that's not good either.
That's not good. And for some reason, 20 minutes later, it just started, and it was fine. And
it was fine.
It was in terms of, was it a head gasket? No, I guess not. And then it did it again, sprayed black smoke, and did it probably 4 more times. And then we made it out to California eventually after a lot of crazy things. Colorado, we limped into there. Every time we'd let off the gas, it would shut off.
Oh my gosh.
The altitude really got us.
Did Dad go with you on that trip?
Yeah. So Dad and I drove the van, and then my mom and my little brother followed in my car because we knew in California it's not going to be really good if you get 7 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So Jack and my little brother's in the car behind us, and we're limping into Colorado, and he hits. We have to stay on the gas because we let off the gas. So we're gassing and braking at the same time.
Oh my gosh!
And we look back, and my little brother is just throwing up out the window of the car from the emissions that are coming from it. So as you can tell, in California, there's no way my van passed the emissions test. We showed up to the emissions place, and you could see in their eyes, they're just like,
"This is not happening."
They're like, "Do you want to pay us for this?" And we just tell you, or do you just want us to tell you now? And we paid them to do it, and they did it, and they were like, yeah, not even sort of, bud.
So what happens at that?
Yeah, so basically what it is in Reading, because it's such a temporary area for a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's not, I guess, super fair for that, like everyone from different states to come for years and years and years and never register in California, just because it costs more, because it does.
But you're temporary, and that's different.
Yeah, so they do this thing called dual registration, where you have to get registered in both, and which Jade probably had to go through.
Yep.
So it worked fine for my car. With my van, we just left it registered in Indiana. I don't drive it a ton, just because it's a lot to take all your stuff down and store it. I mean, you've got your camper, you know the feel of it, where it's like you can't just get up and go. Like everyone thinks like, man, it'd be great to just get up and go. It's like if you wanted to pack up your house, you could get up and go. It's the same thing for me. I just have less stuff. So yeah, the van's great. I live in it outside a house of 5 people, and I pull power from their house, use their bathroom, use their kitchen.
Perfect.
I work from inside from my computer, and then it's been great. Been the best year of it in terms of comfort so far, for sure.
It's good. Something you want to continue to do for a while, or
I never plan on getting rid of the van.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be living in it for much more time.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of me being able to make music more. I want to be able to have like a studio set up. I want to be able to, you and I were talking before we started this. We both love, mid-century modern stuff. They don't make mid-century modern stuff that fits in a camper.
No, they do not.
They have to have like the huge legs from it. So I don't know. I'll always have the van. I'll never get rid of it, whether it's back home at my parents' house in Indiana or it's with me wherever I'm at, whether that's Indiana or not.
Yeah.
I don't plan on getting rid of it, but I don't always plan on sleeping on a small bed.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure. I mean, it's always fun. Like I've stayed in mine quite a bit. People think, oh, that's the great, and it is in some sense, but there is some inconveniences for sure, and small space, and big problems sometimes. So
small space, big problems.
Yeah, for sure. It's the next gal.
I had a great time. I was in my van. This is May of 2018. So right before I was gonna drive home, fly home, whatever I did, back to Indiana for the summer. And a guy comes, like a 6'4" dude, comes and knocks on my van window, and he goes, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, excuse me? And he's just like, "I'm with the state. You have to move." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I've been trailing you for months now." He's like, "You're busted." He's like, "You growing anything in here?" I'm like, "I'm growing emotionally in here, yes." Like I'm growing irritable from you standing in my doorway. No, and he's like, "You got to get out of here. I'm with the state. You got to leave." I'm like, "Do you have any warrants?" I'm pretty scared at this point, because I'm like trapped up in there, like you feel a little trapped. And it's not like Star Wars where you have the higher ground and you're automatically going,
Yeah.
But I look out at his car, and it's like, it's a nice car. It's like but it doesn't look like a state agent.
It's not
car.
official.
I'm like, this isn't official. I look out there and I see one of my friends running circles around it. And one of my friend's parents came to town, and they were like, "You have to prank this guy."
Oh, that's so great.
I was ruthless on pranks when I moved out there.
Oh
my gosh.
got it back.
So they got me back. Man, they really got me. I still think I won this prank war with them, though.
You upped it on that?
Oh yeah, I took their spare key from their car and set it off the entire school year.
I like the commitment.
They didn't know I took their spare key, and I would ride with them to school some days.
Oh, that's awesome.
We'd turn off the car, and I'd immediately press the panic button.
That's awesome.
And so it'd be like. I'm like, "Dude, what is going on?" They're like, "I don't know what's happening with my car."
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
"You got to get this fixed." They ruined the prank by getting their car totaled, but
that's commitment though.
I even got their new spare key to their new car from their brother, and it didn't work. It didn't. Yeah, it's just broken.
So is the war over? It's never over.
I can't neither confirm nor deny that on this podcast.
I understand, and I will not push you for an answer on that.
I don't know what your listener demographic is, but if it's 24-year-olds by the name of Daniel Grappy in Redding, California,
you don't want to even know it.
I can't give them any details.
I don't blame you. Couple more questions, and we're going to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, of course.
Favorite human on the planet?
Favorite human on the Tim Tebow. I'm just kidding. Man, that's such a big question.
It's tough.
Such a big question.
Yeah.
Man,
I know you have a few. We'll make this easy on you. Family aside.
Okay, family aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if we're talking celebrities, it's a whole different question. Is this people I know included?
Let's do people you know and then celebrity.
I've never had someone make me laugh like my friend Noah does.
Okay.
He's hilarious. Love hanging out with him. Just a hysterical dude. Probably my favorite celebrity. Man, that's a whole nother question.
Yeah.
Geesh.
We had to talk about LeBron, but
I love LeBron, but I mean, Dale Earnhardt's dead, so that
yeah, he's off the planet. We can't do that one.
no walls in the sky. I swear to God. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
That's all right. That's fine. We'll just not all questions have answers.
Not all questions have answers.
That's album 3 coming out for you, by the way.
Not all questions have answers.
Yeah.
That's just the introspection album.
That's it. Yeah.
We've got you covered on that one. We've got plenty of those songs.
Good. I love that. Okay, another question. If you and Jeremy Riddle had a sing-off, who would win?
Oh, Jeremy Riddle.
Come on.
I
Have
can't
a
hit those
spine.
notes.
At least talk
I'm not going
trash.
to talk smack to this guy. I don't know who he is. I drive a 2008 Toyota Avalon. This guy has a Tesla.
Okay, just based on the automobile, I'll give you that.
No, so he can do this thing where, and I've never actually met Jeremy before.
Right.
I never saw him when he was in Reading because he was on his way to Anaheim.
Right.
But he does this thing where he somehow lifts his head up and like bends his head backwards like that. And it cuts off, it should cut off all his airflow, but somehow it helps him.
It gives him more
higher notes. And I'm like, how is that possible?
He's secretly a Pez dispenser.
Yeah. The only person I know who can hit notes like Jeremy Riddle is our bass player and keys player, David Funk.
Really?
Because
I've heard good things about him.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
So he leads worship for Bethel now.
Yeah.
And he's still doing the bands. We're still going strong, but he just went on the Victory tour with them.
Oh, okay, right on.
And he's really doing great. But he's got a very high vocal range, and nice. I'm really impressed. I have a very high vocal yell.
Hey, it works.
But in terms of health,
not good for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure something out before touring starts.
Yeah. I'd say that'd be tough on your throat for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick. I know this isn't a really big. This is a big question, but it's what's next for you? What's next for the band?
Yeah. So I'll start with the band.
Yeah.
Because that kind of plays into what's next for me.
Okay.
What's next for the band is we have our album coming out, like I said, in summer. What that looks like, we don't know what in terms of exposure, because it's really hard to market ourselves right now because we haven't released anything in almost a year now.
Right.
About 9 months, and we don't feel like anything that we've released so far is consistent because it's 4 songs and they're all very different from each other.
Yeah.
So we don't have like a consistent view of who we are to market to other bands for us to go on tour with them. So what we would like is we'd like to release our album. We'd like to promote it really well, which we feel like we're learning how to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some music videos, stuff like that. For the band, we really want to get some gigs in different places besides Reading, just because we know it's bigger than that. We love Reading, but we know that with how many people come and go every year, it'd be really easy for us to like keep our ego going by only playing shows that 300 people come to. You know?
Sure.
So like we want to get some like festival shows or something like that throughout the summer. Some one-offs. We would love to get like a tour with like a bigger artist, but I know it's not necessarily something that you can just ask for right away and it immediately happens. So we're pretty much what it looks like is just we've never all been out of school at the same time, and we will be after this school year. So it's going to look like, what does it look like to actually go for this, to make room for this to grow?
Yeah.
What does it look like for me to learn how to actually lead a band? Because as much of a collective as it is, I have to learn how to be like a final say in a lot of things. You
absolutely.
know? So for what's next for the band, album, hopefully a tour that will take us somewhere. What's next for me is making room for that and doing whatever will really sustain it. Because this is the biggest thing that I really feel for this season on my life is really pushing the band. Because as much as I believe in our songs, I believe in the guys in the band too.
Absolutely.
I really feel like I've got the crew that I've dreamed of since I was in high school, and I feel like I didn't even try.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's unheard of too. You guys get along well?
Oh, we get along great.
Yeah, so
I'm like we're around each other a lot, and we're working together. So obviously there are things that bother each other about each of us, but
it's normal.
Yeah, we're humans, and we learn how to get over it. Luckily, we're all a little bit more mature for the age of between 21 and 25. You know, so we can work it out. But yeah, so my plan is I'm gonna go wherever that takes us. Kind of create a life and a work system that can sustain a not very profitable area of of music as being a startup band.
Yeah, no doubt.
So just creating a life of whether it's remote work from or flying home and getting work in Cincinnati for a certain amount of time to be able to, if we have a tour in November, which we don't, but like if we were to get like a tour in November, it's like, okay, we need to raise up this much money. I'm going to go home and work for this long, stay home with family, stuff like that. Just creating a life that will really
makes sense.
Sustain that. Learning how, I mean, this is gonna be my first time out of school ever.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a really cool telling tale of, when the rubber meets the road, like how much do you actually know? How much did you learn? How much did you grow?
Absolutely.
So it's good.
A lot going on. That's awesome. Now, where can people find you? What's your social? What if they want to connect with you?
Cash App, Gable. No, my social media is for Twitter and Instagram. Twitstagram is Gable Pat, GablePat. For the band, which is what I'm really focusing on right now. I'm not really doing a ton of stuff with my personal music. Is the band is Gable Price and Friends Music on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook under Gable Price and Friends, Spotify. Gable Price and Friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you can find us really wherever music's played, wherever it's sold, you can find it there. We're not on TikTok yet, but
working on it.
I don't think we have enough 15-year-old fans, but I'm down for it,
Yeah. Yeah, and then as far as the tour, it'll be announced here soon. Hopefully, you'll be
a tour. I mean, once it comes, people will know.
Okay, yeah.
We've got nothing lined up. We're open to any opportunities. So if there are people listening with large events for their church, for their community that want to host a band of some bad boys, just shoot me a message, shoot me an email.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people can email us, gablepriceandfriends@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, people will know when the album comes out. We'll have a more clear idea of what traveling looks like.
Cool. And shows still in Reading?
Yeah. We'll have a couple more shows before the summer hits, before the album comes out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal. Last question, and I'm going to play us out with one of your Dreamboat sessions.
Sweet.
But last question: if you and Bill Johnson had a pray-off, who would win?
A pray-off.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to compete with these giants. If you say
I'm trying to help you
who
here.
would win in a playoff between me and the band, it'd be like a different thing. But Bill, I don't know.
Bill is a giant, but
Bill's a giant. I would say, I would be very loud and animated at first, and he would probably have the sustainability of it because I need to run around a lot.
Yeah, you go hard in the paint, but he's more consistent.
I go hard in the paint, but he's Dirk.
Oh,
he's Dirk.
Good thought.
He's Dirk, and I'm a firm Tracy McGrady, where three great seasons, then a blown out knee. You know what I'm saying?
Such great the comparisons there. I love that. He is a Dirk, isn't he?
Yeah.
Man, that's good. But brother, I appreciate you.
Of course, man.
I love
Thanks for
what you
having
do. We're gonna play this song. By the way, the synths in this song is just absolutely incredible, and I appreciate you, man. And I'm just playing the synths because I love that part right there. But then as I close out, I'm gonna play the actual song. But you are awesome. Thank you so much, my friend. Reach around here. But this song here is called Communion.
Yeah, this will be on our new album.
Yeah, so good. You're awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having
we
me.
love you in Indiana, and the rest of the world's gonna love you here soon.
Thanks so much,
man.
Anton.
All
Thanks
right,
for
bro.
having us.
All right, thanks.
Oh, dude, it was great. I think this one might have shut off on us.
Yeah, both of them only have an hour capacity here, but I kept you rolling here, so we'll just go to the wide shot. Cool, 6-6. I hope we. I hope it was fun for you. You like everything.
I had a great time.
Face to face, you and me, we're locking eyes for eternity.
I felt that I was supposed to help you.
And I need
and I'm sure it's still
Jesus.